According to a recent study, a recent competition, New York City is selected to have the 2 best public restrooms in all of North America. Think about that. The 2 best public restrooms in all of North America. Oh, buddy, I bet that LeBron James is kicking himself now.
So apparently this whole Miami Thrice thing with the reigning 2-time NBA MVP LeBron James is catching on. Tuesday, the Heat sold more than 20,000 single-game tickets for home games. That's the highest one-day total in franchise history. Well, the King, NBA Finals MVP Dwayne Wade, and 4-time All-Star Chris Bosh and their Heat friends developing chemistry at Hurlburt Field. Josh Elliott anchors our coverage there.
And thank you, Cindy. You are looking at members of the Tactical Air Control Party here at the Air Force Special Operations Command, running through what really is an average day for so many here, taking themselves through the obstacle course, little barbed wire, rope swings, just to get your day started. Jalen Rose and John Barry, I know I speak for you guys when I say that things just seem to matter more here. The welcome we've received has been really off the charts behind us. And in fact, you can see members of the Honor Guard here running through some color drills, practicing again what they go through each and every day. As for what the Heat have faced, 2 days into their training camp, well, LeBron James discussed that after the Heat's first practice today.
We haven't done anything yet, so we know that. We're not praising ourselves. We still got a lot to learn. Every day, Coach Bo is going to, coaching staff going to give us what we need to do to get better, and we got to come out and practice and get better.
It always starts with the high-profile guys, as you would call them, the leaders of the team. And it trickles down from there. But if they see those guys sweating and grinding and really working, quite naturally, that's the human condition. Everybody else falls in line.
Heat coach Eric Spoelstra discussing the intensity that we've seen through the first 2 days trickling down from the big 3. And I know, JB, that has certainly been the case, at least in your eyes.
Absolutely. Mike Miller, we talked to him after practice today, and he said, Dwayne Wade and LeBron James are going so hard. It's like the rest of us, we have to do that. When your 2 leaders are doing that, Spoelstra just mentioned it. LeBron James, since Monday, media day, has had a focused look. And I asked him today after practice, I said, you kind of look mad. And he said, I am. I mean, he's using this motivation. Anybody that said any bad things about him, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, anything with the Miami Heat, he's taken it personal, and he's been nothing but focused and the vocal leader of this Miami Heat team in the first couple days of practice.
The union of Wade and LeBron James is going to allow each player to become more of a complete player all across the board. Rebounding, getting steals, getting blocks, being more efficient scoring. That's going to allow Chris Bosh to be effective, a guy that averaged 20 and 10 last year. The role players, all you have to do is exactly play to your strength. If you're a shooter, knock down open shots. You're a big, rebound, and run the basketball floor. So a lot of intangible things working in this team's favor. Look for big things, obviously.
And I know, guys, we talked to Mike Miller afterwards, and he was discussing last night's scrimmage, really the first full press scrimmage that this team has really had together. And he was amazed at the passes he was getting from LeBron James. We asked him, how does it feel to be arguably the most important person? Get it done. I know, though, for you guys, Jalen, there are a lot of question marks still for this team to answer.
The bigs. Who's going to play center and give quality minutes on a nightly basis? You have Zydrunas Ilgauskas. You have Jamal McGlory. You drafted Pittman out of Texas. You need those players to play big in certain situations, especially when you go against elite teams. The Orlando Magic, they have Dwight Howard. The Boston Celtics, Kendrick Perkins, Shaquille O'Neal, Jermaine O'Neal, and Kevin Garnett. You play against the Los Angeles Lakers, Andrew Bynum, Pau Gasol. So that's the key, if they can get quality minutes from that spot.
Yeah, and the bottom line is defense. I mean, you talked about the offense last night, but that's the last thing on the Miami Heat's mind. They barely scrimmaged. They didn't even put LeBron and Dwayne Wade together. So the offense is going to take care of itself. It's about defense. They believe they're going to win an NBA championship if they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. They were second in points allowed last year. Now you add a Chris Bosh and a LeBron James, 2 excellent defenders. With the length, this team has the ability, no question, to be the best defensive team in the league.
Jalen, we've talked a lot about the numbers. They will tell you in Adderholt Gym, directly behind us, that they don't care about the numbers. They just want wins. They just want that ring. But when you look at what we might see, especially out of James and Wade, in terms of scoring, I know walking back, the 3 of us were talking about the last 3 minutes of ball games, that this team may impact the last 3 minutes of an average game unlike any we've ever seen.
No doubt about it. Wade will be up over 25 points and be more effective and efficient. LeBron James is going to be doing doing it all across the board. And every NBA game comes down to the last couple of minutes. And these guys will be able to finish games and get other players involved in certain situations. Very tough to beat when they're slashing, they're attacking, they're knocking down shots, and obviously getting to the free throw line.
No, I mean, it's going to be, they're unguardable. I mean, there's very few teams that can match up and guard these two great offensive players. And then we talked about Mike Miller, a guy that can spot up and shoot. He shot 48% from the three-point line last year. You know, Eddie House can shoot the basketball. So to me, again, it comes down to defense, rebounding, and the center position. If they can shore those things up, which I do believe they can do, this team's going to be awfully, awfully good. I'm starting to really warm up to this Miami Heat team.
Nice. We have seen, of course, a couple of days of drills, and you talk about unguardable. Maybe the only guys that can guard this team are these guys themselves. Absolutely. It's funny. There's a sign on the way out of the gym that says, please refrain from dunking or hanging on the rim. I think they're going to suspend that rule for at least the length of this week. SportsCenter will be here with the Heat all week long at Hurlburt Field in the Florida Panhandle. For Jalen, JB, I'm Josh. Back to Bristol.
Ellis, thanks.
The Heat have all become a part of a circus, and the Miami hoopla continued in the Pensacola area today as camp continues for the league's biggest story. Rachel Nichols continues her conversation with the guys gunning for an NBA takeover.
I got to ask you guys about a couple of the games you're going to play the first half of the season. Season opener in Boston. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Shaquille O'Neal, Rajon Rondo. What is that going to be like?
It's going to be fun. I mean, it's a lot of all-star bids, future Hall of Famers in that game, and we're looking forward to it. I mean, we're probably going to get booed that night too, huh? Yeah, we get booed that night too, but it's going to be a really good team, real coach team. You know, Doc Rivers has been one of the best coaches in the league. So it's going to be an early challenge for both teams. I mean, I think they will be a little bit more along than we are because they've been together. They've implemented a couple guys, but you know, we come in together. But I mean, it'll be a good test. It'll be a good early test.
And then, of course, you guys play in Cleveland. Dwayne, you recently said you think you're going to need a police escort just to get out of that city. What is that going to be like?
Ask him. Hey, I'm just going to bring my camera. I just want to get the footage.
I think it's going to get a lot of boos that night, too. You know, it definitely won't be a warm reception. But it's another game, another challenge for us to deal with adversity throughout the course of this season. And I'm looking forward to it. I got a lot of memories with those fans, and, you know, I'm going to see a lot of fans that I've seen every single night for those 41 home games every season, plus playoffs. And but I'll be on the other side this time.
So what is the potential kryptonite for this team? What could really derail you guys this year?
We're not going to let nothing derail us. We're going to stick together too much. We know it's out there. We're going to be prepared, and we have to be strong together and as individuals to make sure that we accomplish every goal that we set.
Thank you, Rachel. Despite never having played a single game together, the Miami Heat, this surprise you, Mike, already the favorite among the odds makers for the NBA title. The Heat are a 3-2 favorite, slightly ahead of the Lakers
I'm
and
not
Celtics.
saying anything. I'm not trying to be on LeBron's list. Hey, running autographs for the fans, the adoring fans out there. Day 2 of training camp for him and his Heat mates as they off on their quest to take over the world of the NBA. So let's roll down to Hurlburt Field in Florida. Josh Elliott leading our big three.
Day 2 of training camp for the Miami Heat and its Big 3 opening today, much as the first did. A very intense, very spirited workout, focusing mainly on defense and still with so many questions for this team to answer. Today, one thing was absolutely clear. Rachel Nichols has more.
Thanks, Josh. Well, Chris Bosh has been on Team USA with Coach K, but he tells me that so far, this is the most intense training camp he's been to. And there's no doubt that intensity starts with LeBron James. He's been loud, active, and he has been taking no prisoners.
Just focused. I understand how important this NBA season is for us as a franchise, for me as an individual. So I'm not wasting any time. I'm not going to waste my time, waste this franchise time by coming in here and not getting my work done.
Most importantly, it's very competitive, and I'm a competitive person. I love it. You know, we get fiery, we get going, and, you know, and that's just the way this team is going to be built all year. That's what we have to be built. We got to understand that, you know, we haven't accomplished anything.
LeBron's squad won Wednesday's scrimmage, which meant they got to watch while everyone else had to run sprints. Still, there is one area in which LeBron has decided to pull back. On Thursday, the Heat will go through the base's assault training program and test its flight simulators. LeBron told me I'm laying off a little on that. I don't want to crash anything. At Hurlburt Field, I'm Rachel Nichols, ESPN.